right, Clipping Cool here with Seth from Psycle. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Why don't you say that 5 times fast, Seth?
Right?
Like, Seth from Psycle.
Yeah, that never usually goes well, even for myself.
So, I understand you released your first single, "Kill the Machine." We're waiting on the album to come out in June, and I'm hoping that there's going to be a big tour to.
I would absolutely love that, my friend. Trust me. Yeah,
I'm fucking with you about the tour part. I know.
I would love that. A lot of us would absolutely love that. That's for sure. Yeah. So we put out "Kill the Machine," which is the first single. It's the title track off of the album. Like you said, it's coming out on the 16th of June. We released it on the 24th. So we've been so blessed with a lot of support. We put out a lyric video with it also. So we're just almost about 3 weeks into that. So it's been great. And we're just planning for single number 2. We hope to have out right at the beginning of May, and we'll have a video and stuff for that also. So just trying to give everyone a little taste of, what the album's going to be like when it comes out. So but we've been so grateful for the support and the feedback we've gotten. So
I listened to the track. It's awesome. So, you got that for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We worked like almost 2 years writing for this album, and so we're very excited to get it out and see what people think.
See, now that's got to be shitty, man. 2 years of writing, getting ready for your album to debut, and then all this happens. I'm sure you were expecting a big tour to push the album, and now it's a waiting game to see what's going to go on.
Yeah, the tough thing about it is that, like you said, you put so much into it, and, we spent a lot of time in the studio kind of crafting it. So what we decided to do is we originally were planning on releasing the album on May 29th. And just because with everything going on, we wanted to make sure that we were going to be able to get music out to people, just, to have some reprieve from everything that's going on, and obviously, to give them a little something to get them out of their own headspace. So we ended up pushing the album a couple of weeks, just to give people some time, because obviously, there's more important stuff going on right now. But at the same time, like I said, we write the music to give people an opportunity, to have something different and to change their mindset. And we hope that people take that from the music. So that's why we're slowly kind of releasing what we can from music, to give that to people. So.
Well, that's cool. Everyone's got to have something to do. I don't know. Music right now seems like the only thing that's coming out. Luckily bands are doing live shows over the internet and stuff, but as far as entertainment-wise, try and find a fucking movie or a TV show that's new on.
Oh, forget it. Yeah, even Disney pushed everything a year, so if Disney's pushing stuff a year, we're up against it, That's for sure. I've actually I've started doing a live acoustic thing. I call it My Coffee and Your Wine, every week for people to stop by on my Facebook page, and then doing some of our stuff acoustic, picking out some obscure and random covers and stuff that, people ask me to try out. And, so I did one just kind of Q&A, and the past 2 weeks I've done an actual live acoustic kind of concert for an hour with people stopping by. So it's been great. And, the feedback that I've gotten from people is that, it's really or to escape and say, to even virtually be with people that they normally would be at shows with, to kind of shoot the bull and crack some jokes and listen to some tunes. So it's been really great.
So as far as shows goes, when do you really think that concerts are going to be a thing again?
It's tough. I know a lot of tours and stuff. We've had we lost 4 big shows that we had that were booked, and even our ability to book, an album release show. One of our shows that actually got postponed and now has been rescheduled to October 2nd. We're supposed to be opening up for Lit in New Bedford at a really beautiful venue called the Vault at the Greasy Luck Pub. It was like an old bank that they renovated into a music venue that's absolutely gorgeous. So there's a lot of tours and stuff. I know our friends at Blacktop Mojo, their tour got moved. I think they're looking like late September, October, around there. But it's tough. I think we're all doing the best we can to kind of, stay away from each other and be smart and wash our hands and do the things we probably should have been doing for years. But I hope that if we're smart and we do this the right way, we can get back to some resemblance of normalcy, hopefully by the fall. But I mean, it's easier said than done. I mean, it's really a matter of, medical stuff and what we can kind of put together. So we can kind of only really cross our fingers on that.
No, I could definitely see smaller shows happening towards the fall. I mean, and I don't even know if any of them are gonna allow full capacity, but I can't see anything as far as a stadium show or an arena show happening anytime soon.
It's going to be really hard. And what's nice? I read something. I forget who wrote this the other day, but I saw it on social media, and they said, you see the bands and the artists that are out there right now, and I'm not really speaking for myself with this, but some of the larger acts, and you see these bands that are getting on there doing their Facebook Live acoustic shows or little jams and stuff, and it's the bands that are really doing it the right way. They're on a lot of processing and stuff like that, and they're stripping it down. And, you're getting to see artists. I think, we all, hung our shirts on playing smaller places coming up. And, all the nationals started out local or regional. So I think even getting back to that, and being able to reach fans on a smaller level to build things back up and be a part of that family again, I think could lead to even better things if we approach it the right way. So I think it really comes down to mindset. Like you said, if we knock down some of the arena stuff and we kind of get it to where it's a little more intimate, I think people hopefully will start going back out, seeing shows and doing the things we used to do,
One thing I've been thinking about is bands that don't need the tour, that are older. I don't think they're going to, I mean, like classic rock or anybody that's over 60.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny that you even say that. We actually, we did a podcast with some friends of ours, a really, really funny podcast. And that was one of the questions they asked us is these bands that, they have one original member left, would you go see them or should they continue on and do what they're doing? And obviously with health reasons, I mean, look at the stuff that Ozzy's going through, and obviously it's different than the virus right now. But, I think that if fans want to go and they want to hear those songs and they can perform them well, I think they should keep doing it, and I think as long as it's it's backing up what the reason people fell in love with that music. They can still do it and do it well, I think, absolutely. But I don't think we should, think, like Led Zeppelin, if they came back, it's not going to be the same because of Bonham. You know what I mean? Even if Jason, who's an amazing drummer, played with them, it's not the same, but you can still enjoy the music and share with each other, your love of that music. But like you said, guys in their, 60s and stuff, it's tough right now just to tour when everyone's healthy,
See, what I'm getting at is like, you're at a greater risk of getting the virus. You know what I mean? I mean, do you think the fucking Stones needs to play a show? You know what I mean?
I think they've covered everything they need to cover. I think it comes down to a love of playing now. But you're right. I mean, they're so much more susceptible to anything and their ability to recover from it. And that's the scary part of this virus is how it affects people of that age and, the pre-existing condition.
One thing I've just read today is that Ticketmaster is no longer giving refunds for any rescheduled.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And now I don't know how that's going to fucking work. I mean, of course, every show in the world's going to be rescheduled or postponed, but who the fuck knows when? How long do they get to keep our money? You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it's a pandemic. It's not like, something else happened. This is literally people's livelihoods and families and stuff. And I heard it was kind of shady the way that they did it too. And like I said, I only read, a couple of different parts of publications, so I'm sure there's more to it. But at the same time, you have a lot of companies, a lot of places that are giving back more, and they're helping people, and they're showing that humanity. And I mean, I don't know if Ticketmaster's ever been known for that. Just go ask Pearl Jam, right?
I mean, the way I figure it is there's only so many dates that are going to be available and only so many venues. So as far as getting all these shows booked, it's going to be a process.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I said this, I had a conversation with someone the other day, and I said, this is the time for us to remember things at a simple point and how we used to enjoy them and get back to getting out of the rat race of things. And I hope that people start to appreciate that, because when you're stripped of your basic needs and basic things that we do that you kind of you take advantage of, or you just kind of relegate as something that's a given, I hope people get back to appreciating the small things, and and some of the companies and places that have acknowledged that and acknowledged humanity, and that maybe we should just all help each other a little bit and love each other a little more, and we'll get a lot farther. I hope people gravitate towards that. Once we kind of get through this.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting crazy out there for sure. Every morning, I mean, well, for me, it's afternoons now. I mean, my whole schedule's all fucked up. So
Yeah.
when I decide to wake up, it's
Right.
checking out the news and see what scary shit got posted for the day and figure things out.
It's like a roller coaster, man. It's like every single day you're like, all right, let's open this up and see what's happening today.
Now, you on a personal level, how are you handling things? I mean, when you go to the stores, are you gloved up and masked and things like that?
Yeah, it's funny. I've worked in behavioral health as my day job for a long time. I actually work with the National Guard in Rhode Island, and so I'm still working remote from home. My wife, she works for an orthodontist, so she's out. My son is obviously home from school, so I'm doing some teaching stuff during the day also. But in terms of going out, the first time I actually got mad and frustrated when I went out the other day to pick up some stuff. Now I go out. My dad's got pre-existing conditions, so I'm kind of the gopher for everybody when I go out. But we got to the point where people can't do basic things, and now we have arrows down aisles telling us where to turn, like we're on the road. And I'm like, everyone's looking at each other like, you have it, are you sick, and this and that, and it was very frustrating because I'm like, this is just down to such a basic fundamental understanding of just living, and we can't even do things a certain way, and to me that was very frustrating.
Oh, dude, it gets scary out there. I mean, I remember a couple of weeks ago, you look at somebody who had a mask on, you think, what an asshole. Now you walk in and you see somebody without one, you're like, what an asshole for not being covered up.
Dude, it looks like the Wild West, man. Like, all I can think of is like Val Kilmer and Tombstone, like walking in to get a box of like Frosted Flakes. He looks like he's going to go rob a bank, It's like, it's crazy, man. And how people are. They're getting these masks that are designer. They're designing them at home, the bedazzling masks. It's like, dude, I just want some Frosted Flakes and milk, man. Like, I don't want to be taking that much time, At least be safe. Wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, use gloves and stuff like that. But, people turn it into almost like a joke, and it's like, people need to realize what's going on, man,
Yeah, it's like I said, it's fucked up out there. That's for sure.
It is, man. It is.
Now back to the band. During this time off, I understand you guys got an album coming out, but what do you guys do besides that? You guys writing new music, or what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're always writing. One of the things that we do is, which stinks, we rehearse at least once a week, and we record and sometimes even video all of our rehearsals, and that's where a lot of our writing comes from. Because we'll get in a jam and come up with riffs and try this and that out, and people will go back, and my guitarist Joe will cut up everything, cut up the audio, and send us all the tracks of little things we're working on. We'll do that, and then we'll come back to rehearsal, and everyone will be like, hey, I worked on this, and, we'll kind of start putting stuff together. So I think we're always working on riffs. I'm always working on songwriting, and coming up with even just skeletons of songs and stuff like that. Right now, we're spending obviously a ton of time on PR. We're working with an awesome publicist. She's been killing it, and she's amazing. So we're very lucky to be working with her, Shauna O'Donnell. And, I mean, we've been pushing out stuff on social media. I work like a maniac. I do a lot of like I built a website. I maintain that. I maintain a lot of our social media and stuff like that. So I've been going crazy trying to promote that. Even on a smaller scale for us, like our video in less than 3 weeks just got 15,000 views, which for us is amazing, and building that up from there. So I spent a, tireless amount of time, as we all do, trying to push this out there to get it out to people, when it launches. So,
it's funny that every time there's a shift in things, like bands started getting used to social media and things like that. This right here you're going to be a pioneer in the music industry as being a newer band that used to be able to go on tour and open up for somebody and have people check you out, build up your following. Now that's going to be a thing of the past for who knows how long. So it's all going to be a different route of how you're going to get your music out there to new fans.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think as artists, not just musicians, but artists in general, our ability to to craft and reinvent ourselves on the spot is really important. And that's, the creative side of things to me is really exciting because I'm constantly finding different ways of not just getting music up wise, but getting our logo out, getting the font of what the band's name looks like. So, I always read that if you can get people to see a logo or your name 6 times, they'll start to remember it. So that branding portion of it and that business portion of it, but also, I think being remembered for people who are being creative to give some levity to people too. Like I said, trying to do my bass player does a Facebook live thing too. I do it, just to try and get it out there. And if you're giving back to people, you hope that they'll reciprocate that later on down the line. Like, hey, these guys, they put their music up to help us. They did different things to try and help people. Let's support them. And I think it goes around both ways, which is important. So like you said, being creative and reaching out hopefully gives us opportunities down the line to be able to tour and do a lot of things we want to do with the music,
Now, do you think with the virus and the fact that bands can't go on tour, you think it's going to stop a lot of new bands from actually making music and doing things? I mean, touring is where the majority of the money comes in. I mean, nobody's really buying albums anymore. So if there's no way of getting out there, no funds coming in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's the tough thing right now. And obviously I'm lucky enough to have a day job, and do what I do. And trust me, I would love to be a full-time musician, a touring musician. And this shows how difficult it can be. Never mind when you're actually being able to do it the way it's meant to be done. But now, so like we just said, being creative. And I think what this also does is, I hope it does, it gives newer bands, if you're not writing right now and you're not putting out music, you're missing out, man, because the playing field has leveled off a little bit because of this. So I think now what it really comes down to is who's writing good songs, who's writing good albums, and who can we get it out to? Because if you can't tour, it's really about the music and obviously the content. So if you're being creative and you're getting out there and the music's good, you hope that people will continue to gravitate towards you also. Because if you don't have the backing to do major tours and have all the lights and the sound and everything we all wish we had, it really just comes down to the music. And that should be why we're doing it anyways.
100%, man. I mean, this is going to be the real test of time here to see who's got the actual chops to keep on going,
Yeah. No, trust me, I'm with you 1,000% on that because, like I said earlier, if you're going out there and you're putting yourself, trust me, the first time I did it was weird. You go on a Facebook Live doing an acoustic show and you're playing to a monitor. Luckily I have my wife, my son there to be a somewhat of an audience, which is great. But you're there playing to a computer screen and there's no hiding. When you're playing with an acoustic and your vocals and you don't even have a microphone or anything like that, you're as stripped and bare bones as you can get. And if you can sound good and you can do it that way, I think people will have a greater appreciation for the music that is recorded or that is being played on a stage afterwards. So it kind of separates us a little bit,
That's one thing I want to talk to you about now that you mentioned that is fans are getting used to hearing their favorite artists stripped down acoustic. I know that things are going to be a little slow getting back out there. I mean, people aren't going to have money to do full production value to get all the roadies and stuff they need. Do you think bands might start off by doing stripped down shows at smaller venues?
You know what? The stuff that I grew up on and the way that I have always looked at music is no frills, no thrills. Get up there, turn on your amp, plug your guitar in, and get up there and sing your ass off. And it doesn't matter if you're playing to 20 people or 100,000, you play the same way. And I think you'll see bands, I think, stripping it down, like you said, maybe even to a point of acoustic, but I think even, if they're doing club dates, back to, all right, yeah, it's great to have a big bus and it's great to have roadies and stuff like that. But you know what? We all had to start off at a point where we set up our own stuff and it was important to us. You know what I mean? Like you took pride, like our drummer takes pride in his drums being tuned a certain way, and he's meticulous about that, and he loves the fact that people come up to him and go, wow, man, your drums sound really good. And he's like, yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that. It's not someone else doing it. It's me. So I think as fans, I think you'll get a closer view and version of, I hope so, of us as bands and what we do and our skills, not just on stage, but in terms of how serious we take our craft. And I think people need to start getting back to that to reach out and show them what we do.
Now, as far as touring goes, when you're an up-and-coming band, how do you get chosen to be the opening act for somebody?
So for us, we've unfortunately never done like a full tour or a leg or anything like that. We've been very lucky that we've had a lot of support from even radio or just any kind of, magazines in entertainment and things like that, friends of friends, and just being able to say, hey, check this out. Can my buddy give this to so-and-so to listen to? And I think it always comes down to the music. If your music's good and people go, wow, okay. We've gotten to open up some really, really cool bands. And I think it's because, they listen to our stuff. They saw how hard we worked to push and to get publicity out for shows and what we're doing, even as a smaller band. So I hope that it's the work ethic that was able to kind of get us onto some of those. But it's a who's who and who you know kind of thing a lot of times. We've been lucky with some of that, but I think a lot of it we've kind of, I'm pretty crazy about getting messages out to people. When I see something that's available, I'll get right on it. And I have everything on my phone, from press pictures to links to Spotify to our website, and I can send it off in 10 seconds to someone. So I think it's really getting ahead of the curve on that too. And we've been lucky to be able to open some cool acts.
See, what I'm getting at with that is, I'm sure in the past, playing at festivals or playing for some decent band that has a bigger show,
mm-hmm.
you would get picked up that way by somebody checking you out and saying, oh my God, did you see them?
Right.
Now with the inability to tour, I'm sure there's going to be a hierarchy with bands. Of picking out dates and shows, you know what I mean? There's only going to be, like I said before, there's only going to be so many dates, so many venues able.
Yep.
So I'm sure the bigger bands out there are going to get to say, no, this is my block. So for an up and coming, they've got to make those connections to be able to be the opening for a while before they get on their feet.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's the work ethic thing. You just got to keep pushing. That's one thing. I've been doing this for over 20 years now, and I didn't get anywhere that I didn't, put myself in front of it. Nothing's ever come easy, not even a second. And with the bigger bands, like you said, with not having as many dates and in areas and them kind of, picking territory, I think you need to be smart with your approach. You have to have good music. You got to have your stuff together. You got to be professional, and you got to work for it. You got to put it out there. You got to keep working. You got to be creative. You got to try different ways to get in front of people so they can hear you. You can't just put your music out to the universe and think it's going to magically happen. It doesn't happen that way anymore, or at least, not as much as it could. You got to show work ethic, and that's what we try and do with all of our stuff.
One thing, I was talking to Doyle from the Misfits before, and I was taking a look at his Instagram, and he's constantly putting out a new song or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, hey, I noticed such and such posted on there, and he was like, how I get famous names to post or give me a like? He goes, I tag fucking 50 bands in each thing. He goes, hopefully one of them's going to like it.
Right. Yeah. That's a very small wire to walk. And I think I saw someone the other day posted something about that where it's like, you could just end up pissing off a lot of people if you just tag a lot of people on stuff. But when you're Doyle, it's kind of like, oh, that's really cool, But if it was Seth Celeste, they'd be like, who the hell is this guy? Pissing people off. But I think as you build up, I think for us too, it's important. We have friends in the local scene, and we have some bands that we've played with that are national. And when they put new stuff out, I share their stuff or their video, whatever it is, on all of our pages and say, go check out our friends, because those are the ones who need the T-shirt to be bought and to put gas in the van to go down the road. And I think if you're sharing their stuff and you're helping them out, they take notice of that. We played with Blacktop Mojo. I forget what month it was. It was cold as hell. I remember that, but they were awesome, man. We went up, we opened up the show, and those guys stood in front and watched our whole entire set. We got to hang out with them afterwards, and they were like, yeah, man, we were supposed to play with them in August, and then something happened with scheduling, and they came back through again. But they're like, yeah, we definitely heard of you guys because we know you guys have tagged us and stuff, and we saw your name on posts from other places and people who were playing us and stuff. And I was like, that's crazy, and it's just a matter of continuing to put yourself out there. But I think smaller bands, you need to support the larger acts. And I think that's a big thing with touring too, is that you need to give those larger bands a reason to take you. You know, are you going to work your ass off, because it's part of their lifeline too, you know, so you got to keep and think about that also.
Well, I mean, hopefully everyone continues to support everybody and the music keeps on going, you know?
We all need it, man. You know, we all need it. And I know a lot of people have reached out to me after I did the Facebook Live stuff and really thanked me for, you know, giving them even an hour out of their week just to kind of laugh and have a drink and relax and listen to some tunes. And I think if we can continue to do that, you know, people remember that you thought of them that way, you know.
Now, people want to follow up. They want to see the live streams. They want to know about the band. They want to hear new singles. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do?
So for us, I mean, one of the things we do is we make sure that across all of our platforms that you could possibly imagine, like on our website, one of the things that we did when we created the website is on the intro page, before you even actually get into the website, every single clickable link of every kind of place that you can find us at is right there before you even get into the website. So we follow that up between Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and, you know, whatever else that we have, everything kind of matches. So we make sure that it's being produced across all those avenues so people can find it. And we try and put out a post a day, even if it's just checking in and saying hi, just to stay in people's minds, you know, and whenever we have new content, we push it right out.
So they're going to go and search Psycle if they want to find you guys?
Yep. And if they go to our website, it's psyclemusic.com. It's PSYCLE music.com. And everything's right there. Or on any of our social media, everything's pretty much connected together. So whatever people are trying to find, they'll definitely find it there also.
Now, if they go on Facebook, do they got to put Psycle Music?
No, we should. I mean, you should be able to put Psycle up there, and we should pop right up.
The first time I tried to search for you guys, some fucked up exercise bike came up.
Yeah, there's a exercise thing, and there's also another like a music software platform thing also. So we tell people, you know, if you're looking for music, put in Psycle Music, and it'll come up, to go from there. But also, like I said, on our website, if they go to psychlemusic.com, everything, all of our links and everything will be right in there too.
I had to laugh when Shauna sent me the email and said, "Hey, what do you think of these guys?" And I was like, "Oh, great, I'd love to do it." And then I typed you guys up, and I was looking you guys up, and I seen the bike, and I was like, what the fuck am I looking at here? I had to go back to check out her email. I go, God damn, that's a band, right? This ain't no...
It's not sweating to the oldies.
Yeah.
No. No, it's not. It's certainly not. You know, it's funny. A lot of people call us Psycle when we do interviews, and I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we thought you were like a death metal band. I'm like, no, we're not Psycle, man. We're plain rock and roll guys, you know. But it's tough to compete and to make sure that everyone can get to it and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch them do it in a bicycle for 4 minutes and 14 seconds for a single. So we try and chop that up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I was like, geez, I don't know if I want to do this.
I know, right? Or maybe this could be. Maybe I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole with this way too far.
Yeah, for sure. All right, buddy. I really appreciate your time. I'm looking forward to that album coming out, and I'm definitely going to check out some of those live shows of yours.
Absolutely. Definitely stop in and say hi. And like I said, once we start rolling out some new stuff, like I said, we'll have a single coming out, I think the first week in May. We're trying to shoot for the 5th of May to get something out. We'll make sure we get everything over to you guys so you can check it out.
Sounds good, man.
All right, my friend. You stay safe. Take care of yourself, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
You as well.
All right, buddy.